Today, drama means social obstacles, drama means listening to your heart, and drama means wanting to throw something at the TV every step of the way. Hi, welcome to Drama Means. Today we're talking about the 2025 Japanese drama Learning to Love.
And first, a summary. A high school teacher and a worker from a host club in the red light district buck societal norms by engaging in a relationship that no one in their lives can understand. For that summary, I was having trouble describing a host club. Like, do people in internet land and in our drama sphere, like, is that shorthand work? Do people know just what a host club is?
I think if you watch Asian dramas, you know what a host club is.
Right.
But if it's someone that's never encountered any kind of Asian drama or like manga, it might be a little confusing. So when I saw this on Netflix, I was very excited because it looked interesting. And then I started watching it and it was so frustrating.
Well, the throwing things at a TV.
It was just the fact that like everyone felt so annoying, like in terms of like how just everyone was so against them.
The characters, you're talking about the side characters against our main couple.
Yes. And so I was just like, every step of the way, it felt like no one was on their side, and it really pissed me off.
I mean, just to play devil's advocate, I agree with you. I think some of the characters, and it might have been the overdrawnness and the like caricatureness of the characters in the way that they were so against the main characters. But it does seem that's kind of the theme, right? Like a high school teacher and a host are supposed to live in separate circles, not the same circle. They're not supposed to date. They're not supposed to be a couple. So it makes sense that the characters around them in their lives would be against them. But I do think this was an execution. Like the way they did it felt cartoony.
Yeah, it definitely, and I know that there are a lot of like societal restrictions. A lot of people see hosts as like sex workers. And I mean, I'm sure there are some that, with their own discretion are sex workers. But like, it's just so weird to me that I'm like, okay, well, first of all, like, why do you get a say in if she sees someone or not? Like, on her own private time. Like, that pisses me off.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think, too, there's, like, a connection between, like, these kind of host clubs and, like, gangsters. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I think if you just say it, if you told your parents, hey, I'm dating a host, they would think you're getting involved in something underworldy. Like, automatically, that's, like, the stigma, right?
Yeah. I think I'm just, like, looking at this through American eyes where I'm like, she is in her 30s. She is a working adult. She's not doing anything wrong. It's like, don't tell me what to do, bitch.
Well, you think about even in America, like, teachers get fired for their TikToks. Like, people get fired from their day jobs because of their social media presence. Oh, I remember I was working on a show and everyone on the show had an issue with one of the girls who had showed some bikini photos on her Instagram. Like, oh my gosh, she's friends with all of us that work with her. She shouldn't be posting that on her personal Instagram page. Like, screw you. She's in Mexico. She can wear a bikini if she wants.
Yeah.
She can post that if she wants.
No, I understand it. And the thing is, I remember my 21st birthday, my friends and I went to a strip club. And
ooh, scandalous.
Yeah. And it was like the lower level was like women strippers, and then the top level was like male strippers. And so we were in the male stripper section, and one of our friends got very chummy with one of the dancers, and they were talking, and the stripper was actually a math teacher by day.
Okay.
And so he only went like to work as a stripper on the weekends. What if your students like come, like when they turn 21, and they had you as a teacher at one point, and they realized that, oh, my teacher, my old teacher is a stripper.
Yeah. No, I think it's a real thing. I don't know if it's so East versus West as far as like cultural differences. It kind of feels like every society draws the line in a different place when it comes to like sexual expression and repression, and it's all the same thing. It's just where we draw the line of like what's societally okay and then what needs to kind of stay in those dark recesses, you know?
Yeah. So, but I was very frustrated with this. But also, like, every character has their own flaws. And I don't know if that's maybe one of the reasons why I continue to watch it, even though there were, like, such, like, frustrating characters. And I can't say, like, when I was watching it, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
But every Sunday, I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go watch, Learning to Love. That was my show that I watched,
Yeah, so even with your frustration, you weren't hate watching it.
I wasn't hate watching it. I was interested in it. It did take me a little bit longer to like Manami's character because she was so like frigid, couldn't say no to her dad, and just like very uptight, and it took me a while to get used to her character. I'm not saying like her character's wrong, like if she, has lived a life of like being controlled by her dad and done everything that her dad had said, and then the time that maybe her dad told her not to do something and she did it, it turned out badly. I can understand that, but it took me a while to understand it.
Well, it definitely hits your confidence, right? I think there's something to this idea that some parents stay too involved in their kids' lives too long. Like we see that with helicopter parents in the US, and like, oh, now everyone's living with their parents until they're 26 or 27 rather than, I mean, I couldn't wait to move out, be on your own and have your own rules and, eat donuts for breakfast every morning. Like, I want to be an adult. But I think there are these parents that just kind of insist on, in one way or another, running their kids' lives like well into their 30s now.
Yeah.
And like they want to say. But that's sometimes the relationship between parents, especially with only children.
Yeah.
Like I think if you have like siblings, like I think your parents are a little more like, get out of the house. We don't have room for all of you. But when you have, one kid, that's your kid. And you want to be involved in their right decision making. And that's not always what's right for the parents isn't always right for the kids and vice versa. So I kind of understand where her character's coming from, like that overwhelming parental oppression. And especially like you say, like the dad is a little cartoony in his like, you were not doing anything, you're gonna stay in your room forever, that's kind of weirdo-ness, but yeah. I kind of understand it. So but I do also agree with you that it takes a little while to kind of go, hey, snap out of it, girl, let's go.
Yeah. But I think my main character that I don't like is Manami's best friend.
No, I know where this is going already.
You know me. I'm all about loyalty. I'm all about like your support group. That's like one of the most important things for me. And for me, I felt like Momoko is like not supportive. Like she keeps saying like what's the word? Nagging Manami and is like, well, he's not good for you, blah blah blah, your dad's gonna da da da, like just like all that. She's like, but if you insist, I suppose I'll support you.
But it seems like in words only.
Yeah.
Like I'll say the words, okay, I'll support you, but do nothing to actually show my support for you at all.
Yeah. Other than the fact that she does like let her, if every time she like has to run away from her parents, like she ends up at Momoko's apartment, which I'm not really sure I understood this, and I didn't like go back and rewatch it to make sure, like, but I believe Momoko said that she was the one that Manami's ex was cheating. Okay, so Manami's ex was cheating on Manami, and I think he was cheating on Manami with Momoko.
He's already a terrible friend.
But, like, no, they didn't know each other at that point. And then they became friends after Manami had told Momoko
that hey, You're with my man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I think that was the story that she had told to the fiance, Manami's fiance, when the fiance had met Momoko. And it was just kind of like, I don't know if that was right, like if I had read the subs right, but I believe that is what Momoko said. So it's an interesting dynamic, but it's also like, I just want like a best friend character that's like there. I know if your friend is like going down a wrong path, I understand.
Intervention?
Yes, like an intervention. I understand that, I guess. But I just like, it was so frustrating that she was always nagging Manami.
The characters like this are difficult because from the audience perspective, we're with Manami's character. We're on her side as an audience member. So having the friend be kind of more like the logic police. I mean, wait, a host? I don't know. Like, yeah, you can, but this is a difficult road. And even like, it seems like advice you may give to a friend who is like dating a stripper, as much as you don't want to like, oh, strippers are bad. But you're like, well, like, you got to be okay with this, that, and the other thing. It's hard to write those characters in a way that makes them not counter to the audience in an annoying way, if that makes sense. Especially like you say, like we like the teams coming together. We like the support. Like you want that best friend who you walk in, it's that joke where you walk in and you go, hey, I can't tell you what we're doing. I can't tell you where we're going, but people are going to get hurt. And your friend just goes, who's driving?
Yeah. It's not that I want that. I just want like a friend that like trusts their own friend enough that it's like, hey, you have a good enough head on your shoulders. You're not going to make that mistake. Like you've been hurt before. You know what you're getting into, and I trust you.
I also think there's something to like air your grievances, say your concerns, and then if your friend still says, no, I'm doing this, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I didn't really like her. And the thing is, I know there's so many characters that are so flawed. Like the fiance character is
he's a creep.
He's so creepy. And he was like not good because he was seeing someone else and having like a sexual relationship with somebody else and then gets engaged with her. And she's like, and he was like, literally, I need to get engaged with her so I can have this sexual relationship.
Yeah, he's really twisting like the logic of relationships into knots to make the thing he wants work.
Yeah.
Like to his own morality, he's doing loops to like, no, because my morality is just, so therefore I need to have this all lined up and then I'm a good guy. Yeah. Like I want to be a good guy.
Yeah. But then also like, because Manami was like not that interested in him, and it was very like noticeable that he started getting very obsessed.
No, it's the rejection syndrome, right? Well, you don't want me? Well, why? Now I want to know why, and now I want you more.
Yeah, and then you're my fiance, so like now you're mine, and I need to covet you.
I think also a PSA for everyone out there: if you ever have the thought to stalk your significant other or wannabe significant other from afar, just don't do it. Stalking's creepy. Don't follow people.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to each other a little bit more, but don't follow people. It's gross. And it seems like that happens so much in TV land and romantic dramas of, I'm going to follow them and see where they go. I'm like, no, don't. It's creepy.
Yeah. I do really like the fiance that, like, realized that Kaoru is, like, a good guy and he didn't, like, turn him in to the police, and that he really cares for Manami. And the fact that it becomes, like, this, like, weird little friendship that they develop, the fiance and Kaoru, like, Kaoru is like, no, we're not friends. Get the fuck out of my apartment kind of thing. But he's like, hey, I brought you donuts. Like, we're friends now. And I think you should, fight for Manami's love kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a little strange. It's a little bit of a...
Also creepy, but...
also creepy.
Yeah, but it's just like, I kind of like that.
This guy brought every brand of creepy to the show.
So, I don't know. It's just, like, one of those shows that I, like, watched. I didn't love, but I didn't hate either. and I was like rooting for their romance. And in this like in this world where everyone's against you, there's that someone that like is looking out for you and is worried about you. There, it says a lot, and I totally understand like why he fell for her, and he is like, you know, likable, and he is like sincere, and even though he is kind of like messed up and like tries to push her away.
Yeah, they both learn from each other and get each other out of their shell, because I mean that's the kind of fish out of water relationship drama kind of thing.
Yeah. So I do like that about them. I just feel like their ending felt really weird.
Well, before we get to the ending, can we go to the beginning? Because I don't know why it was Manami's problem to go get the student out of the hot water. Like what? Like the parents are like, "Hey, teacher, go. My daughter's in trouble at a host club. Go fix it." I'm like, between the hours of 9 to 5, I'm their teacher. After that, that's when the parents kick in.
Yeah.
What are you doing, y'all?
Yeah, like the teacher literally had time to go to the school and like talk to the teachers and like the
parents, you mean? The parents had time to go talk to the teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teacher has all the time in the world to go talk to the teacher because they're already being teachers at the teacher place, which is called a school.
That's what I meant. I meant the parents.
Yes, I got it. People out there might not get it, but I got it.
Yeah, like the parents, or well, the mom at least, the mom had the time to go to the school, complain, you know, talk to the teachers, tell them, you know, my daughter is spending all this money at a host club. Or I'm like, why can't you take that time to go to the host club?
Or talk to your daughter, or anything that would resemble being a parent.
Exactly. But also, like, they're controlling the daughter without having to even be doing anything, which is weird.
Yeah, I thought that this whole side of it was weird, because so you go from that to then the daughter gets upset that like Manami stole her man, basically. It's like, well, you're a high school student, like you fell in love with the host, like that's not gonna work ever.
Yeah. The thing is, we've seen a lot of it where, well, I guess it's usually when the parents aren't around and like the cops would call the teachers.
It just seems like a lot of times, like in these high school dramas, that the teachers are really involved in their students' lives in a way that, for us, you know, having that high school experience, like my teachers would never be involved in my life the way they are in these dramas. And maybe it's a societal difference. Maybe it's just for the drama for drama's sake, because it's a school and that she's the character, and so we do this. But you know what it made me think of? It made me think of that horrible movie, Not One Less, where the teacher loses her student, and then she has to go like find the student in the big city. She literally leaves the whole classroom like unattended to go search for the kid she lost.
Yeah. My most hated movie ever.
Yeah, it made me think of that, of like the teacher just being like, wait, why is it my fault?
Well, back to the ending.
Okay, I just had to get that off my chest.
I felt like the ending was a little weak in terms of like, I also feel like I like the relationships, or like, you know, the characters where they really fight for their love, you know, and like, and it was like he made the attempt, but he goes like to take the test to become a hairdresser.
Okay,
or like
right.
to go to the school, right? And then he doesn't make it, and after that he's like, one and done, like if I don't make it, I'm gonna quit, and I won't, and then we'll break up. And it was just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, way to stick to it, buddy.
I know. And the thing is, it like, it just, I understand that it's kind of his character's personality, but it's also like, dude, you've decided to like lay it all out on the line, but that doesn't mean just the one time. Like, you like, you know, it just felt really weak in terms of like his character and his love for her, and it just felt like, okay, well, it was so easy for you to give up on me, kind of thing.
They're not taking control of their own destiny. They're kind of just like circumstantial this and that, and they're like, well, I guess that's just how it has to be.
Yeah. So, and then finally they like go back to the beach that they had gone on their like little separation field trip.
Right.
And so then she goes to the restaurant that they had like eaten at, and then they left the umbrella at that restaurant, and then he apparently on the same day, because it was like supposedly the day of that festival, and so he had left a letter written in kanji to her, and so then she ended up going to the beach where like I think they kissed for the first time there, and then they're like they get back together. But it was just kind of like,
it felt like the ending of like a very studio rom-com, and not necessarily like this indie,
this is nowhere near indie by any means.
But it's not like a paint by the numbers like rom-com starring like Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson, where like remember where we had our first date, and then we'll both go there on New Year's Eve 6 years from now. Like it's Sleepless in Seattle. Like it feels so cute.
Yeah, it's cute, but it's just like at this point I'm like, why do I want, like, I know you like love him and stuff, and supposedly he loves you, but like I wouldn't be able to let go of the fact that he was able to quit so easily.
But that's what I mean. I think I'm saying cute in a bad way. I'm thinking for the way the show was drawn out, it feels like it's a cutesy ending that doesn't fit what we just watched.
Yeah.
It just feels like, you say, it feels forced because they needed to come back together in this romantic way.
The thing is, I knew from the moment they went to that restaurant that it was going to end at that restaurant again. But what I thought was what was going to happen was that they were going to realize what they wanted in life, where she didn't want to work at this stuffy school and like be, kind of chained up in this kind of lifestyle of like what her dad wanted,
right,
her to be. And he wasn't, and like the whole host thing was not gonna like be able to last anyways, because like the host club closed down and all this stuff, and he was like gonna, and I thought they were gonna go to this beach town and like open their own cafe or work at this cafe or take over this cafe when the other couple that was running the cafe like decided to start a new, like a second location or whatever, right? But I knew that they were going to end up at that location. I just thought that they were going to realize when, like, what really brought them happiness was like at this moment of like running this little cafe or like working at this cafe. Or I thought it was going to be where like, oh, she's going to show up at this cafe and he's been working there this whole time waiting for her, and now he can like read the menu off to her, which,
or write her order down or whatever.
Yeah, something like that, where he's like, you could tell he's like really studied hard, and yeah, he wrote that letter to her, but that's like oh, I knew you were gonna show up, so I just came on the day so I could bring this letter to you. Like, it was just, it would have felt better that like, oh, he picked himself up. It didn't have to be that he was, a hairdresser now. He could have done anything, and working at a restaurant is just as good, and so he like learned how to read and write, and he can,
Yeah,
write.
It just feels clunky this way.
Yeah. So it just, I don't know. It felt weird, and then her having to go to the beach to find him was like, no, bitch, you come to me. Why do I gotta go to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes, like we say, like the tail wags the dog a little bit, where you get this idea of, oh, it'd be great if they reunited on the beach, and then you kind of trying to wedge it in, and you haven't really thought how to get there organically, and make each character make that crystal clear decision or drive the story forward to this point. It just kind of is like a preconceived, like you said, you knew it was going to happen. You knew they were going to end up here. And so obviously the filmmakers are thinking that too. They just didn't engineer the rest of the story to take the characters there in a smooth, organic way. They just kind of like, and then, yeah, what if they both ended up there? Okay, great.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean much then.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. As you said, it felt clunky. So it just wasn't smooth to get to that ending.
I think relationship endings are hard, or at least like, I don't know, hard, tricky, whatever, but I always think of like, you need to look back at the emotions in the story you're trying to tell, because like, it's kind of a binary choice, right? Your characters either end up together or they don't. And whatever you choose, half the audience will be unsatisfied if they end up apart or they end up together. But what's the reason you're ending it the way you're ending it? Like, what are the emotions that are satisfied by this ending? It's not just, oh, we flipped a coin in the writer's room and decided that they should be together. No. The emotions inform the plot. The emotions inform the movement of the story. And if they're supposed to be together because that's what the emotions demand, then that's the ending you have to have. And it didn't feel like this was the ending we have to have, dictated by the, like you said, he gives up. He doesn't like that. This isn't an emotional drive anymore.
Also, like, he's the one that wants to get back together. I mean, obviously she does too, but like, fucking work for it, man.
Yeah, go earn her.
Yeah, go earn her.
And now you need that Matthew McConaughey running through the airport.
No, shut up.
Wait, I need one last moment in this comedy to tell you how much I love you.
For me, it was like middle ground. I can't even.
Well, can we talk before we wrap it up? Can we talk about the one thing that didn't make any sense in the whole show?
Yeah, we can.
The host killer. The dreaded host killer.
Which, it was so thrown in there, like, and then they didn't develop it at all, where it was like, they brought it up like for 2 seconds, and then you forget about it, and then all of a sudden they had to make sure someone was a host killer, and so they just randomly brought this lady in that, like, had, like, freaked out on, I think his name's Tsubasa, but I can't even remember, the number one host guy, and, it was just like,
it didn't feel like it belonged in this show.
It didn't, and it didn't feel like it. Like, if you were gonna add that in there, like, actually put in, like, the effort to, like, make us think that Kaoru was gonna be in danger. I know they thought, like, oh, the fiance, he got pushed down the stairs, so it must have been the host killer.
I know, which is such a dumb, like, red herring, and also, I would have rather the cops looked at him and be like, yeah, you're a host. You probably pissed off someone's boyfriend. Like, it doesn't have to be her fiance, but like, yeah, you put yourself in this harm's way because you're a host, you dirtbag. You get the same thing. You get the same kind of societal, like, looking down upon him for who he is without needing this convoluted, murderer, like, lingering in the dark shadows and then having it basically be all resolved. Like, kind of quick and, again, clunky as hell.
So they brought this host thing up that they, like, really lazily wrapped up. And then also, like, I thought this show was about, like, don't judge people, by their looks and appearances and their jobs and stuff like that. And don't, like, and it's, like, showing the audience, like, the terrible treatment you get. But then it's like, oh, now we're on the other side, and this poor lady who abused all the hosts that she spent money on and treated them like shit and would, like, hit them and stuff, right? This poor lady was tricked into spending her money to the point where she was embezzling money from her company to pay for the luxury life of these hosts, right? This poor lady. And I'm like, you knew what you were getting into. You knew that you had to pay for any of their affection. I understand you're a lonely person, but there are also dating apps. So you don't have to go to a host club, first of all. Second of all, you're the one that treated them like shit. You threw wine at them, you would hit them, you talked to them like they were trash. And then you're like, oh my gosh, they don't want to talk to me anymore, and I spent all this money, so I'm entitled to them.
Well, she's also crazy. Like, she is a bad guy. So she's not necessarily the voice of the audience. She's the voice. She's the antithesis of the voice of the audience.
She's not the voice of the audience, but they gave her enough time to be like, oh, this is an issue. Like the people who go to host clubs and stuff, this is an issue.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like, wait, like, you don't know your own voice of your show. And then, so you bring this up, which was, like, so unnecessary. Then, the small minor detail is Kaoru's best friend and, like, the teacher's assistant, her Manami's assistant. Like, literally, he helps her, like, gather information. They go and try to, like, do a class or a session with Kaoru. The teacher's assistant has come out that he's gay to her, right? Then he meets Kaoru's best friend, which is, like, a host, but, like, not, like, a popular host. And he literally looks at him, and the first thing that he says to him is, "I think I'm in love with you." Right? And then nothing after that. Didn't bring it up. Like, nothing. Like, that was the whole thing. Like, they made it where everything that she, Manami, had found out about Kaoru was told to her either by the best friend or the fiance, all this stuff, right? But I'm like, it would have been really easy that, like, we didn't need a full story of, like, oh, you know, the Kaoru's best friend and the teacher's assistant, like, of, we didn't need them to, like, to have a whole storyline, but just a little wink of, like, oh yeah, oh, I heard from Kaoru's best friend that he's in the hospital.
Right.
You know, and then Manami is like, oh, what? Like, and then she rushes. Like, it's just this little tiny bit of oh, they're keeping in touch.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Otherwise, why would you even bring up, like, he doesn't have to say, oh, I think I've fallen in love with you. Like, they didn't need to bring that up at all.
Well, if they're not going to go for it, then don't go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't need them to have a relationship or some kind of romantic anything. But, like, if you're going to make someone say something, you're hanging a light on it.
No, you're not following through with it. You're making it mean nothing.
Yeah. So that irritated me. And it just made me feel like this was an unorganized production. And they didn't really know what they were doing and what they wanted from it.
I mean, I agree with that. I think that they maybe had a kernel of an idea, and then once they started growing the series, they really lost track of what they were trying to accomplish with the romance, what they were trying to accomplish with the side characters. And, you know, I've written pilots where you have a storyline and you kind of realize, no, this storyline doesn't really go here, but you're attached to it and you just keep wedging it in. And then you little bit skim it away and skim it away and skim it away. And then pretty soon we call them ghosts. Like, it's a ghost of an old version that no one's ever going to see. But then when you see it in the most current version, it just sticks out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, maybe there was 3 episodes about a host killer and the side character's romance and all this stuff. And then you pair it all the way back to almost nothing when you should have paired it back to nothing.
Yeah. So either have taken that out completely or just give us a little bit more, like, we definitely didn't need, like, a whole scene of them going out on a date or anything. But yeah, like, if you had just said, like, just given us an idea, like, oh, they're still keeping in touch.
Yeah, that's all you need is a wink.
Yeah.
Either, wink at it or go there. But don't give us this wink and wink and wink and wink and wink and then never go there.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of an in-between land sickness or stepping out for fresh air. I'm going to go with stepping out for fresh air because I didn't hate it, and I just, and I was rooting for the couple, and every Sunday I was like, okay, it's time to watch the show. So that is why I'm giving it stepping out for fresh air.
I would give it land sickness just to balance you out.
Okay.
Do we have a recommendation for this week? I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't have a rec, and then Ryan, for the longest time, has told me we don't need to do recs anymore, so I just kind of stopped trying to give recs.
It's just hard. It's hard to find something in the perfect, like, vein of, like, well, we don't want to recommend a movie every week, we want to recommend a TV show, but it's got to be in the thematic of the thing, and just, I don't know, feels like, yeah, figure out what you're going to watch. We're telling you what to watch already. Figure out what else you want to do.
Anyway, I guess that is it for us this week. Thank you for listening.
And we'll see you next time.